Welcome to C++ programming under EPG Pathshala. Today we will start with module 26 arrays. We have declared different data items of different data types in our program. We have seen that if we want to use three numbers, we can declare them as integers, integer number 1, number 2 and number 3. And these three variables will be used in our program. But in the program, if the data is too large, something like if you want to add 50 different integers, then it is a tedious job to declare 50 different integer names. So, the idea is given in C++ where we can group all the data items under single name. The concept is called as arrays. Array is a homogeneous data type where all the atoms will be of the same data type, but they will have different indices or dimensions. So, in the program, if I need to declare the variable of size 3, then we can declare it as arrays integer a in square bracket 3. Here all the three variables will have the same name as a, but the indices will change from 0 to 2. So, first variable will have a name as a of 0, second variable will have a name as a of 1 and third variable will have a name as a of 2. Arrays can be of different types, something like single dimensional array, two dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. Single dimensional arrays can be treated as a list, multi-dimensional array will have different indices and two dimensional arrays can be treated as a table. Array is a homogeneous data type where all the variables will have a same data type. So, let it be any number of data that will be input to your program, we can declare them as arrays. So, let us start with our module 26 arrays. In programming, one of the frequently arising problem is to handle similar types of data. Suppose the task is to store the marks of 50 students depending on the input from the user, then this type of problem can be handled by C++ programming using arrays. An array is a collection of variables that can store values of one particular data type. The main use of arrays is to store up a group of data. After studying this module, you will be able to learn about arrays, know about different array types, get familiar with pointer to an array, study about passing an array to a function, learn about returning an array from a function, get familiar with array of objects. Arrays is a collection of homogeneous elements of similar data type. All the elements of an array are stored in adjacent memory locations. Many times it is called as contiguous memory location. All the elements of the array are accessed with the help of the subscript or the index variable. An array can store all characters, all integers, all floating point numbers, etc. Arrays can be initialized either during compilation time or during runtime. The lowest address corresponds to the first element of the array, whereas the highest address corresponds to the last element of the array. Now, let us see the array declaration. It is must for the programmer to specify the type of the element and the number of elements that are required by an array to declare in C++. The syntax is data type, array name and in square brackets size 1, size 2, size n, semicolon. In this particular syntax, the data type specifies the valid C++ data type of each element of the array. Array name is a suitable name which is given as a variable name. Size, it specifies the dimension of the array. It must be the integer constant which is greater than 0. Now, let us see the example. Integer age in square bracket 12. Here integer is a data type, age is the name of the array and 12 is the index value. It will declare the array of 12 integer values. Next example, double angle in square bracket 360 semicolon. Here it will declare an array of double precision numbers. Now, let us see how to initialize the array. The procedure of assigning value to array elements at the time of array declaration is called as array initialization. The array elements in C++ can be initialized either one by one or using the single statement. Now, let us see the example. Double balance in square bracket 5 equal to in curly braces 5 different double values as 1000, 0.0, 2.0, 3.4, 17.0 and 50.0. Here the double array of balance of 5 elements is declared, where the first element will have the value 1000, second will have 2.0, third will have the value 3.4, 4 will have the value 17.0 and fifth element will have a value 50.0. The number of values between the braces which are used as curly braces cannot be larger than the number of elements that are declared for the array between the square bracket. So, here if the array is declared for 5, we have to give only 5 initial values. Now, let us see one more example. Double balance empty square bracket equal to, in curly braces the same values are repeated, 1000.0, 2.0, 3.4, 17.0 and 50.0. In this particular code, the size of the array is not specified. Therefore, the size of the array is automatically assigned based on the number of elements that are initialized. The above defined array can be specified by giving the individual elements as follows. We can say that balance of 4 equal to 50.0. So, only one value will be initialized in this particular case. The pictorial representation of the above array can be given as balance is the name of the array, where 0 to 4 as the index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and the values are balance 0 is 1000.0, balance 1 is 2.0, balance 2 is 3.4, balance 3 is 7.0 and balance 4 is 50.0. In this way the array will be read. Accessing the elements of an array. An array can have elements of one type only. All the elements of an array may be integers or floating point numbers or characters or class objects, etc. But they cannot be of a mixture of different data types. An element of an array is a variable of the type declared in the array declaration. It may be accessed by writing the name of the array followed by the index or subscript of the element in square brackets. In case of single dimensional array, suppose there exists an array by name bill 10, then the first element of the array bill is referred to as bill 0, the second element as bill 1, the third element as bill 2 and the fourth element as bill 3 and so on. The ith element of the array is referred to as bill in bracket I minus 1. This is because we are starting the array index from 0. In case of two-dimensional array, suppose there exists an array by name m in square bracket 2 and 5, where the first index is 2 and the second index is 5. Then the element belonging to the ith row and jth column is referred to as m in square bracket I minus 1, second square bracket j minus 1. Here I and j will start with 0. Now, let us see a simple program to see the usage of declaration and initialization of an array. We will start with our program hash include iostream using namespace std. We will start with our main program integer main. Now, here we are going to declare two arrays as integer marks 4 and we will try to initialize as equal to 20, 30, 10 and 15. Second array we will declare and initialize as double average 5 equal to, in curly braces, 15.6, 18.3, 27.0, 36.3 and 97.8. Now, we will display back both the arrays as using the simple cout statement and using the for loop. The simple cout statement will be cout in double quotes marks 0 and the value of marks 0. Such way we will display the value of marks 1, marks 2 and marks 3. Now, we will display the second average array as using the for loop cout average array is endl. We will write a for loop for integer I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, cout average of I and the blank space. Return 0 and the program will end. When the above code is executed, it will print the result as marks of 0 is 20, marks of 1 is 30, marks of 2 is 10 and marks of 3 is 15. The second array will be displayed as average R 15.6, 18.3, 27.0, 36.3 and 97.8. The two different types of arrays that are supported in C++ are single dimensional array and multidimensional array. Now, let us first see the single dimensional array. The single dimensional array or one dimensional array or linear array is the array which consists of only one subscript variable. It is mainly used to represent and store data in a linear form. The syntax is data type, array name, in square bracket the size. Now, let us see the example. Integer I r in square bracket 3 equal to in curly braces 2, 3, 4. So, here the array of 3 elements is declared and initialized. Second example, char cr in bracket 20 equal to the string welcome to C++. The third, float fr in bracket 3 is equal to 12.5, 13.5 and 14.5. Now, let us see a simple program to accept array elements and find the largest element of an array. We will start with our program hash include iostream using namespace std. We will start with our main function integer main. First, we will declare the variables as integer index equal to 0, max equal to 0, integer r in square bracket 100 comma n. Now, let us take the number of elements from the user as cout, enter the number of elements c in n. Now, we will take the actual numbers from the user as cout, enter numbers for in bracket integer I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, the for loop will start c in r of I. If r of I is greater than the max, then the max will be equal to r of I, index will be equal to I, our if condition will end and our for loop will end. Now, we will display the result on the screen as cout, the largest element is the value of max is at index value of index, return 0 and the program will end. When the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the following result. First, it will ask the number of elements. Suppose the user entered is 5, it will give the second message enter numbers. Suppose the user input the numbers as minus 23, 12, minus 45, 100 and 56. Then the result will be displayed as the largest element is 100 at position 3. Now, let us see a program to accept integers in an array and to count the number of integers that are greater than or equal to 10. We will start with our program hash include iostream using namespace std. We will start with our main function integer main. We will declare our variables as integer a in square bracket 10 comma I comma b equal to 0 and n. We will display the message to the user as cout, enter the number of elements. We will take the input as c in n. Now, we will ask the user to enter the array, cout enter the array. We will have a for loop for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, c in a of I. Now, while taking the input, we will check whether it is greater than or equal to 10. So, we will write our if condition here. If a of I is greater than or equal to 10, then b plus plus and for loop will end. So, we get a count of how many integers are greater than or equal to 10. Now, we will display this particular count on the screen as cout, the number of integers greater than or equal to 10 is the value of b, return 0 and the program will end. Now, when the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as first it will ask enter the number of elements. Suppose the user input is 5. The second message that will be displayed is enter the array. Suppose the values that is entered by the user are 10, 1, 2, 11 and 12. Then the result will be displayed as the number of integers greater than or equal to 10 is 3. Now, let us see the program to find out the sum and average of one dimensional array. Let us start with our program hash include iostream using namespace std. We will start with our main function. Here first we will declare our variables as integer r of 100, I, n. We will declare our sum to be 0 as sum equal to 0. Now, we will take the input from the user as cout, enter the elements of the array, c in n. So, here we will get how many elements user is going to enter. We will start accepting the elements from the user as for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. We will display the message to the user cout, enter the element and we will take the element from the user as c in r of I. Our for loop will end. Now, we got the input from the user, we will write our logic to calculate the sum of the array. Again we will write the for loop as for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Here we will add the elements as sum equal to sum plus r of r. Now we got a sum. We will display the sum and average on the screen as Cout. The sum of the array is the variable sum. Next statement will be Cout. The average of the array is sum divided by I, and our program will end. Now let us see the second type of array, multidimensional array. The array that consists of more than one subscript variable is called multidimensional array. The multidimensional array is also called as matrix. The syntax is data type, array name, in the first square bracket row subscript and second square bracket column subscript. In multidimensional array, we can use two-dimensional arrays very common. Now let us look at the two-dimensional arrays. The simplest form of the multidimensional array is the two-dimensional array. The two-dimensional array is a list of one-dimensional arrays, since each row in two-dimensional array itself is a one-dimensional array. Therefore, the rows can have different lengths. Therefore, such an array is known as a ragged array. Two-dimensional array can be considered as table that consists of rows and columns. Each element in 2D array is referred with the help of two indexes. One index indicates the row and the second indicates the column. The syntax to declare the two-dimensional integer array is data type, identifier, first square bracket row, second square bracket column. In this syntax, the data type will refer to the data type of values to be stored in the array. Identifier is the name of the array, row is the number of rows in the table of the array, and column will indicate the number of columns in the table of array. Now let us see the example of two-dimensional array. Suppose we declare the two-dimensional array as int r in square bracket 3 in second square bracket 4. Now this is a declaration of two-dimensional array which consists of 3 rows and 4 columns. So it can be shown diagrammatically as column 0, column 1, column 2 and column 3, and there are 3 rows, row 0, row 1, row 2. So first element can be accessed as r of 0 0, where row number is 0, column is 0, r of 0 1, row is 0, column 1, r of 0 2, row is 0, column 2, r of 0 3, where row is 0 and column 3. So such way all the elements will be shown. Thus every element in array R is identified by the element name of the form R I J, where R is the name of the array, I and J are the subscripts that uniquely identify each element in R. Now let us see the initialization of two-dimensional array. Multidimensional arrays may be initialized by specifying bracketed value for each row. For example, we can declare the array with 3 rows and 4 columns as integer a in square bracket 3, second square bracket 4 equal to, we will start with our initialization, so main curly bracket. Now inside this, for each row we will have a curly braces pair. So first row will have the values as 0, 1, 2, 3, second row will have the values as 4, 5, 6, 7, and the third row will have the values as 8, 9, 10, 11, and our initialization will end. In this example, the nested braces which indicate the intended row are optional. The above array initialization can be also written without the nesting of braces as integer a 3, 4 equal to, directly we can give all the values as initialization 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now let us see accessing two-dimensional array elements. An element in two-dimensional array is accessed by using subscript, that is row index and column index of the array. Example, integer val equal to a 3, 4. The above statement will take 4th element from the 3rd row of the array. Now let us see a simple program to see the usage of two-dimensional arrays. We will start with our program, hash include iostream using namespace std. We will start with our main function integer main. We will declare and initialize our two-dimensional array as integer a 5 2, where 5 is number of rows, 2 is number of columns, and we are initializing the 5 rows as 0 0, first row, 1 2, second row, 2 4, third row, 3 6 fourth row and 4 8 fifth row. Now we will display these values back on the screen as using two for loops. The first for loop will be for row indices and the second for loop will be for column indices. For integer I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. For integer j equal to 0, j less than 2, j plus plus. We will start with our loop. See out a, the square bracket I, square bracket j, square bracket complete, see out a I j. So, we are displaying the index value and the value at that particular position. The for loop will end, return 0 and our main function will end. When the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as a of 0 0 is 0, 0 1 is 0, 1 0 is 1, 1 1 is 2, 2 0 2, 2 1 4, 3 0 3, 3 1 6, 4 0 4, 4 1 8. Now, let us see a program to store value entered by user in 3-dimensional array and display it. We will start with our program hash include IOStream using namespace std. We will start with our main function integer main. Here we will declare the 3-dimensional array as integer test 2, 3 and 2. These are the indices for 3 dimensions. See out enter the 12 values. So, we will write a for loop for integer I equal to 0, I less than 2, I plus plus, that is our first index. For integer j equal to 0, j less than 3, j plus plus. For integer k equal to 0, k less than 2, k plus plus. C in test of I, j and k. The 3 for loops will end. Now, we will display the message as see out the value stored and L. Now, we will again write a for loop to display the values back on the screen. For integer I equal to 0, I less than 2, I plus plus. Second, for integer j equal to 0, j less than 3, j plus plus. For integer k equal to 0, k less than 2, k plus plus. See out test of square brackets I, square bracket j, square brackets k, test of I, j, k. The value of test I, j, k, end L. Our for loops will end, return 0 and the main function will end. When the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the following result as enter two values. Suppose user enters the values as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then it will display back the values on the screen as value stored test 0001, 0012, test 0103, test 0114, test 0205 and so on. Pointer to an array. An array name is a constant pointer to the first element of the array. Example, double balance in square bracket 50. In the above example, the balance is a pointer to address balance 0, which is the address of the first element of the array balance. Therefore, the code that assigns P the address of the first element of balance can be as follows: double star P, double balance in square bracket 10, P equal to balance. To store the address of first element in P, the array elements can be accessed by using star P, star in round bracket P plus 1, star in round bracket P plus 2 and so on. Now, let us see a program to see the usage of the pointer to an array concept. We will start with our program hash include IOStream using namespace std. We will start with our main function integer main. We will declare the array as, we will declare and initialize the array here double balance 5 and in curly braces the initialization as 1000.0, 2.0, 3.4, 17.0, 50.0. Double star P, P equal to balance, see out array values using the pointer end L. Now, we will access the element using the pointer here. For integer I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, see out star P plus I and the value of star P plus I, see out star P plus I and the for loop will end. See out array values using the balance as address is end L. For integer I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, see out balance in bracket plus I and the value of star in round bracket balance plus I. Return 0 and the program will end. When the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as star in bracket p plus 0 1000, star p plus 1 is 2, star p plus 2 is 3.0, star p plus 3 is 17, star p plus 4 is 50. Array values using the balance as address will be star balance plus 0 is 1000, star balance plus 1 is 2, star balance plus 2 is 3.4, star balance plus 3 is 17, star balance plus 4 is 50. Now, let us see how we can pass the array to a function. C++ does not allow passing an entire array as an argument to a function, but it is possible to pass a pointer to an array by specifying the name of the array without an index. In C++, while passing array as parameters, only the address of the array element is passed. So, it is therefore considered as passing by reference, so that the actual array elements will get changed. Even though the array is passed as reference, the AND symbol is not used. Instead, the square bracket is used in the parameter name. To pass a single dimensional array as an argument in a function, it is must to declare the function former parameter in one of the following three methods. Now, let us see these three methods. The method 1 is former parameters as a pointer. Example, void my function in bracket integer star parameter opening and closing curly braces. B, method 2, former parameters as a sized array, void my function in bracket integer parameter square bracket 10 and the function opening closing braces. Method 3, the former parameters as an unsized array, void my function in bracket integer parameter empty square brackets function opening and closing braces. Now, let us see a program to find the sum of array elements by passing an array as a parameter to a function. We will start with our program. Hash include iostream, hash include iomanip using namespace std. Here we are declaring the function as integer sum in bracket integer empty square bracket and semicolon. We will start with our main function integer main integer array 5 is equal to 13525. Here the array is declared as well as initialized. Cout sum of the array element is sum in bracket ar. Here the function is called and our main function will end. Now, we will define and declare our sum function as integer sum in round bracket integer a square bracket integer sum1 is equal to 0, which is a local variable, integer I. For I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, sum1 plus equal to a of I, for loop will end and we are returning sum1 from the function. When the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as sum of the array element is 16. Let us see a program to calculate average of array elements by passing an array to a function. We will start with our program. Hash include iostream using namespace std, double get average integer ar empty square bracket integer size. Here the function is declared. We will start with our main function integer main. Integer balance 5 is the array which is initialized as 1000, 2, 3, 17 and 50. Double average. Now, average equal to get average balance comma 5. Here the complete balance array is passed where the size of the array 5 is passed. Cout average value is the value of average, return 0 and the main function will end. Now, we will define our function as double get average integer ar opening and closing square bracket integer size. Integer I sum equal to 0, double average. For I equal to 0, I less than size I plus plus, sum equal to sum plus ar I, the for loop will end. Average equal to double of sum divided by size, return average and function will end. When the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as average value is 214.4. Returning an array from a function. C++ does not allow to return the entire array as an argument to a function, but it is possible to return a pointer to an array by specifying the name of the array without an index. The important points that are to be considered are: to return a single dimensional array from a function, it is a must to declare a function returning a pointer. Example, integer star my function opening bracket and closing bracket. C++ does not support to return the address of a local variable to outside of the function. Therefore, it is must to define the local variables as static variable. Array of objects. Arrays of variables of type class are known as array of objects. The identifier that is used to refer the array of objects is a user defined data type. Now, let us see a program to implement the usage of array of objects. We will start with our program. Hash include IOStream using namespace std. We are declaring the constant here as const int max equal to 100. We are declaring the class here as class employee. Private data members are integer employee number, float, salary. In public section, we are defining the member functions as void get name, cout enter the employee number, cin employee number, cout enter the salary, cin salary, and the function will end. Now, to display the values back on the screen, we will have a member function void put name, cout employee, employee number, salary, salary, and the function will end. Now, we will start with the main function integer main employee e of max and integer n equal to 0. Here the array of object is declared as e of max, where e is a object of a class employee and total 100 employees has been declared. So, here the array of object 100 of employee class is declared. Character answer do cout enter the employee number n plus 1, e n plus plus dot get name, cout enter another yes no cin answer while answer is not equal to no. So, all the employees will be taken till the user says yes. Whenever the user says no, taking the input will be stopped. For integer j equal to 0, j less than n, j plus plus, cout employee number is j plus 1, ej dot put name, and for loop will end and our main program will end. When the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as enter the employee number 1, enter the salary 2000.50, enter another yes, then the second employee will be entered, enter the employee number 2, enter the salary 3456, enter another no. So, 2 employees will be accepted from the user and their data is displayed back on the screen. Now, let us see a program to implement the usage of the array of objects. Hash include IOStream using namespace std. Here the class will be declared as my class, class my class. Integer x is a private data member. In a public section, we will declare the member function as void set x in bracket integer I, x equal to I, void get x, return x, and the member function will end and the class will end. Now, we will start with our main function integer main. We will declare the array of object as my class obj4. So, here 4 array object is declared integer I. For I equal to 0, I less than 4, I plus plus, obj I dot set x in bracket I. For I equal to 0, I less than 4, I plus plus, cout obj I dot get x is equal to obj I dot get x, return 0 and the main program will end. When the above program is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as obj0 dot get x 0, obj1 dot get x 1, obj2 dot get x 2, obj3 dot get x 3. Now, let us summarize our module 26 arrays. Array is a collection of homogeneous elements of similar data type. Arrays can be initialized either during compilation time or during runtime. The lowest address corresponds to the first element of the array, whereas the highest address corresponds to the last element of the array. The process of assigning values to array elements at the time of array declaration is called array initialization. All the elements of an array must be integers or floating point numbers or characters or class objects etc., but they cannot be a mixture of different types. An element of an array is a variable of the type declared in the array declaration. The two different types of arrays that are supported by C++ language are single dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. The single dimensional array or one dimensional array or linear array is the array which consists of only one subscript variable. A two dimensional array is a list of one dimensional arrays. Each element in 2D array is referred with the help of two indexes. Multidimensional arrays may be initialized by specifying bracketed values for each row. An element in two-dimensional array is accessed by using the subscript, that is row index and column index of the array. An array name is a constant pointer to the first element of the array. C++ does not allow passing an entire array as an argument to a function. Arrays can be passed as a reference, but we do not use the ampersand symbol. Instead, we use the square bracket symbol. To return the array from a function, the function should return a pointer. The local variable's address cannot be returned outside the function, so the local variable should be declared as static. Array of class type is known as array of objects. Thank you.